Everyone has ideas for what they want to do in their lives, what they want to achieve, and what are their goals. People make a plan to achieve these targets. Everything we do or dream requires some sort of plan before doing the actual work. Do you remember how many times you have caught yourself saying that you should have planned that better? Does it sound very familiar to you? Well, that indicates that you may be missing some important aspects of planning. But don't worry, in this video, we will cover the basics of project planning and tell you how to create a perfect project plan. Hi. My name is Vijay and I am the founder of projectsmind.com. And today we would learn about project planning. Before diving into project planning, let's first understand what is a plan. In general terms, a plan includes information about the current situation at this moment. For example, a typical life plan will include information like, where do you live, what you eat each day, your likes and dislikes, and who are the important people in your life. This also includes the ideas for what do you want to do and how to reach a desired result. Making a plan is important because it helps people to achieve goals. The plan is a blueprint of how to execute your dream in real life. It is carefully chosen action and activities to achieve goals. Plans are always developed through a planning process. However, planning about the future course of action can be difficult. But planning is absolutely necessary for any endeavor or desired result. It is necessary for all walks of life. There are different types of planning like family planning, event planning, financial planning, business planning, strategic planning, marketing plan, architectural planning, production planning, project planning, and so on. Project planning lets the people know what task do you want to include in the project. Whatever task you can think of, planning is always the intrinsic nature of any project. Project planning is the cornerstone of the project management function and helps to bridge the gap between the present and future course of action. So, what is project planning? Before diving deep into it, let's analyze the phrase project planning. It consists of two words, project and planning. A project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to achieve a particular aim in a certain duration and budget. Every project has a start and finish date with something to deliver under a certain cost. The project always produces a unique output, and it doesn't continue forever. It ends when the objectives are met. And planning is a process for accomplishing the purpose. It doesn't matter how complex or easy a project is, the planning serves as a blueprint throughout the project. It helps in deciding objectives, both in quantitative and qualitative terms. This is the process where all activities are well thought before starting the actual project work. Project planning is at the heart of the project life cycle, which bridges the gap between where are we now to where we want to go. It tells everyone involved in the project that what is your current position, where you're going, why you're going, how you're going to get there, who's going to be involved. It tells us all before the execution and makes things happen, which would not otherwise occur. Planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it. It's how the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza was planned, to move 2.3 million large blocks of slabs from Tura riverbed to the construction site in the 26th century BC. It is how the New York subway system was planned in 1904 to be one of the world's largest and most diverse transit systems, which operates via an extensive network of 11,500 signals and uses 1.8 billion kilowatt hours of electricity annually, roughly what it would take to light up the city of Buffalo for a whole year. It is how the planning of Three Gorges Dam, the world's largest water conservation project in China, was done to remove 103 million cubic meters of sand and pour 27 million cubic meters of cement. It is how the first Tesla car design was completed in 2003 and moved for mass production. Planning is not only limited to creating products. Service industries like event management, software, consultancy, healthcare, government, all need meticulous plans to efficiently execute their work. Simple planning can be made on a piece of paper with a pen or pencil, or just using your mind, which people have been using for ages. However, planning a project requires a great deal of attention to the involved people, processes, and tools. This ensures all aspect of the project is well thought in advance. It is a walkthrough of the project to get activities organized before actually doing the work. Also, it presents a huge opportunity to save resources, time, and money, and it encourages increased stakeholder buy-in and commitment to the projects. There are lots of moving parts, and lots of interdependencies in running a project, and that is all captured in a project plan. So, what is a project plan? A project plan is a realistic view of the expectations. Depending upon the activities, a plan can be of long range, intermediate range, or short range. The project plan is the most important document, and key to the project's success. It is a formal document designed to guide the control and execution of a project. A project plan is a formal agreement between the project team and project sponsor. It documents and ensures mutual project stakeholder approval while managing the project team and tracking project progress. Project plan document planning assumptions and decisions, facilitate communication among project stakeholders, and document approved scope, cost, and schedule baselines. However, preparation of a comprehensive plan may not guarantee success, but a lack of a sound plan will almost certainly ensure failure. It is important to prepare a plan, keeping in view the goals and business objectives. A project plan serves three critical functions. It helps management to clearly focus on their business prospects and strategies. It provides a logical framework within which the project can be developed. It provides a benchmark against which actual performance can be measured and reviewed. Project plan are developed through planning process. And if you are still wondering what is planning process, then please note that the project planning process requires few things as inputs to develop a viable and practical plan. This process takes some key inputs and provide project management as output. Project manager cannot plan anything unless he knows what he wants to achieve. The goals must be defined before starting the planning. Remember, planning is flexible and is based on future conditions. As the project continues, plans have to be changed in accordance with the conditions and dynamic environment. As the project moves on, choices are made based on newly identified risks and opportunities. Project planning is never truly finished until a project is completed. The project plan may return to the planning stage multiple times prior to project completion, or even abandoned. Each planning steps may use the results of the previous steps, and each step may affect or cause changes to the previous one. Planning is a pervasive and continuous process involving complex processes of perception, analysis, conceptual thoughts, communication, decision, and of course, the action itself. So, how the planning process works? The project planning process needs inputs like project charter and stakeholder list. The project manager needs to consider scope planning, WBS development, schedule development, budget planning, quality and risk planning as a part of the planning process. The output of the project planning process includes the project management plan, project schedule, scope management plan, cost management plan, and other plans like risk, quality, HR, and communication. Depending on the type of project and its complexity, there can be different approaches to plan a project. However, project planning requires an in-depth step-by-step analysis of project activities. There are 11 steps that should be performed in the set order to come up with an effective plan. The first step is to perform overall management planning. This step is to determine how you will plan and integrate each work area of the project. The next step is to plan the project scope. In this step, detailed requirements are determined and the project scope of work is created. This leads to the creation of the WBS and WBS directory. Then planning for the project schedule is performed. During this step, the planning team is determined. Project activities are defined and sequenced. Based on this sequence of activities, the required resource for each activity is estimated and then activity durations are estimated. This leads to the determination of the critical path and the project schedule is developed. Schedule development is usually done in schedule management software like Primavera P6 or MS Project. Once the project scope and schedule are planned, the cost of each activity is estimated and budget requirements are determined. After that, quality planning is performed. This step determines the quality standard process and matrix. A process improvement plan is developed to continuously monitor work quality. Then all roles and responsibilities of team members are defined. This step indicates who will do what work, at which time. Then project communication plan and stakeholder engagement methods are developed. Once the planning of scope, time, cost, quality, HR, and communication is completed, the team moves to plan the remaining uncertain items, which are mainly project risks. First, risks are identified and then qualitative and quantitative risk analysis is performed. Based on the output, a risk response plan is developed. Then repeat the above 8 steps based on the feedback of the team's members and function owner. The purposes of these iterations are to optimize the plan and synchronize the expectation with stakeholders. Once the iterations are done and the plan is optimized, the next step for the team is to assess what to purchase and create procurement documents. In the second last step, project control activities are planned. This step is to finalize how to execute and control different parts of the project plan. Here the team ensures to develop a realistic project management plan and performance measurement baseline. Also, in this step, formal approval of the plan is taken. Finally, conduct a kickoff meeting with relevant stakeholders and ensure that all project team members are on the same page with respect to project goals, scope, budget, timeline, and everything in between. With these sets of planning steps, team ensures that all the necessary component of projects is well thought in advance. Without a well-defined project plan, your project is prone to various project management issues such as project delay, contractual disputes, product failure, scope creep, and cost overrun. Even though planning is such a critical process of project management, too often, project managers jump right into whatever they are doing without thinking about it beforehand. Such actions lead to inefficiencies, rework, mistakes, needless overtime, and just plain bad project management. Project managers are supposed to think about it before they do them. Project planning reduces uncertainty, risk, and confusion among stakeholders. It guides the project manager to make informed decisions. It helps the team to coordinate and control project performance. It makes the organization capable of coping with a changing environment and facing challenges. Remember, planning can minimize the risks associated with a project, but cannot fully eliminate the risk. Planning itself does not guarantee success. Project planning is a crucial process that requires a significant amount of time and consumes money. Also, sometimes planning may lead to rigidity, if the flexibility factor of changing circumstances is not taken into account. The project has to constantly adapt itself to changes. It can achieve its goal only when plans are properly drawn up and implemented. Any plan needs to be translated into action, or it becomes meaningless. The planning process must be continuous and communicated to the lowest possible workforce level. It makes sure that everyone constantly knows where the project is going and what could be done. It coordinates the efforts of the various functions, tools, processes, and people. People are the essence of planning. Behind every successful or unsuccessful project, there are the unsung heroes, the project team who kept everything and everyone on track to ensure the achievement of the desired result. At projectsmind.com, we support project people in all the amazing work they do every day. Our objective is to provide access to world-class project management education for anyone, anywhere in the world for free. The concepts you will learn are applicable to all projects from Fortune 500 firms to all the way to your own home. If you'd like to know more about project management, visit us at projectsmind.com. And don't forget to hit subscribe button below to see our latest videos when they come out. See you later, and bye for now.